There has been a lot of talk about ISIS at the moment and about the amount of people from the UK going to join ISIS. We're going to look at some of the non-verbal persuasive techniques that are used in their recruitment videos. You might recognise some of the techniques from well-known politicians. The recruitment video that we're going to look at I'm using material from the Site Intelligence YouTube channel. And this was published by ISIS's Al Hayat Media Centre in June 2014, and it features 3 British men who left the UK to fight ISIS. The first person we're going to be looking at is this man on the right-hand side. In the video, he's introduced as Brother Abu Dujana al-Hindi, but newspapers such as The Guardian have identified him as 20-year-old Rayad Khan from Cardiff. I need to emphasise that I don't support ISIS in any way, and if you look at my channel, you'll see that it's focused on looking at non-verbal behaviour, and I really wanted to know and find out if there were any powerful non-verbal gestures that were being used in the recruitment videos that could have played a part in persuading people to travel thousands of miles from the UK to Syria or Iraq to fight for ISIS. So in terms of hand movements, this individual's dominant hand seems to be his right hand, based on how much he uses it when he's talking. He does use his left hand, obviously, but not as much. It is not as vigorously as his right hand. This is the next posture I want to look at, which is the 2 pointing fingers. It's kind of seen as a soft way of pointing, so you're not pointing in a rude way, but it's you're still highlighting a point. So lots of politicians do this as well. They use this kind of soft pointing gesture. And here is Obama doing it as well, this kind of soft pointing. So you're not being aggressive with it, but you're kind of bringing a point home. But I also need to point out that this individual's, because everyone's different and they use the different gestures differently, he's using it more, it's not the index finger and the thumb, it's more the index finger and the middle finger that points. You don't really see the thumb. And I've got some examples here, and you'll find that he generally uses this sort of gesture when he tries to put his point across, and that is the point, what is stopping you from coming and joining ISIS? And he repeats it 3 times in his segment of the video with this hand gesture. And obviously that's the main point of the video, it's to tell people, recruit people. So he brings his main point home with this gesture. Here's an example.
What prevents you from joining the ranks of the Mujahideen?
So if you can just see, just then, I'll highlight it to you. When he says, what prevents you from joining the Mujahideen, he uses this, there we go, you can see it there. He uses that.
Mujahideen, those that spill their blood, prevents you from coming to the land of Izzah. What prevents you from...
What prevents you from, here you go, here it is at the bottom here. And then here it is again. You have to look very closely because sometimes it's at the bottom of the camera shot.
What prevents you...
Here we go, again. And then here it is a 3rd time in the video. So this is the 3rd time he's repeating this.
Ask yourself what prevents you and what keeps you behind.
So as you can see, there's the open palm movement there, but look very closely. Before he uses the open palm, he says, ask yourself, and then that's when he uses the soft pointing.
Ask yourself what...
There we go, ask yourself. So the way it's framed, they say, what's preventing you? It's a question, what's preventing you from coming? It's a challenging tone. It's not inviting. It's not saying, would you like to join us? It's a challenge to take action, which is one of the reasons why it's so persuasive. And this kind of phrase, what prevents you or what's stopping you, is very powerful in our media environment right now. For example, like this advert.
AAT courses are open to everyone, and there's no need for previous experience. Choose how you study, part-time, full-time, or from home. You can even earn while you learn. So what's stopping you? To learn more about AAT's account...
There we go, so there it is. If you want to do an accounting course as well, it asks, what's stopping you? And here it is again in this advert.
These ceramic brakes are designed to run cleaner, last longer, and stop you quicker. They can be the difference. A very big difference. The ceramics brake package only at Cars. What's stopping you?
So there we go. Buy our brake pads, what's stopping you? So this philosophy of kind of don't let yourself be stopped. Like again, it's in the self-help industry as well. So you have all these books that are about making yourself unstopped, if you like. So like this book, and also here's a Tony Robbins video, and the headline is "Unlock What's Stopping You." So this phrase that they're using in this video, what's preventing you, what's stopping you, it suggests that being stopped, that staying in the UK and not joining ISIS is some sort of failure on your part. And it also suggests that you're stopping yourself from progress, from entering something better, which is what they're selling, this experience with ISIS. So what they're trying to market is backed up by lots of different people who have used the same technique. And you can see that that's his main point through this finger-pointing gesture that he uses whenever he uses the phrase, what's preventing you. He also uses this gesture. I'll just open this and show you. Look at his hands over here. He uses this palms exposed gesture, and he rolls his wrists, thereby moving his hands from his chest to the camera. Let's see if it loads. That one, there we go. And so he lowers his head as well. It's kind of like a giving gesture. It gives the impression of giving something away. And that's exactly what he's talking about when he uses this gesture twice in his segment of the video. He uses this gesture when he talks about sacrifice. So here's one example. I really hope these load because I've got loads of windows up. Let's see. Okay, so watch his hands over here. In this one, he uses it in his right hand, and I'll replay it if I can.
Or do you wish to be resurrected, showing your wounds and what you...
So resurrected and showing your wounds. So again, you see the wrists rolling and the palms briefly exposed. In this example, he uses it. He uses it in both hands when he's talking about sacrifice again.
Being small, and you want to show Allah what you sacrifice for this deen.
There you go, when you sacrifice for this. Another gesture he uses is this hand-throwing kind of movement. Look at his hands over here.
What you fear for you, it will be...
When he said for you. Let me see if I can load that again. Please load. Yeah, okay.
What you fear for you, it will be...
There we go, for you. He kind of throws his hand out and his hand expands and his fingers go out. And he uses that gesture with his right hand. And he often uses it when he wants to portray strength. So when he portrays strength, the next one, for example, he's saying that he does not fear death and that death will come anyway. It's here.
Know that if you fear death and that's what prevents you, death will reach you anyway.
See, that death will reach you anyway, and his fingers go out. So here he's trying to show that he doesn't fear death, and death will come anyway, and so that's not a problem. But we should understand that as a member of a terrorist organization in a volatile location like Syria or Iraq, it is necessary for him to portray that he is not afraid of death in order to recruit more people. We look out for the same gesture. It's being used in the next example. And it's being used when he says that we're just getting stronger and stronger. So again, directly referring to strength or power.
The more enmities are shown towards us, we're just getting stronger and stronger.
There we go. So we're just getting stronger and stronger, and the hand kind of comes out again. Look for it again when he says, in this next example, the phrase, "We don't want nothing from you." We don't need nothing from you. Allah, it's you that needs jihad. So this portrays strength by saying that we don't need you. He's already stated that ISIS is getting stronger and stronger. Although this is a recruitment video, they're not about to beg people to fight for them. Instead, they show strength by saying that ISIS doesn't need anything from you, but they sell it to the viewer by the argument that you should join because it will benefit you. In essence, they don't need you, but you need them. Again, he uses the gesture in a mild form when he's describing the strength of ISIS fighters, talking about the bullets and the bombs that they're taking that are directed at them.
While you know your brothers are on there on the front lines, facing the bullets, the bombs, and everything the enemy.
So when he says the bullets and the bombs, the hands go out again, but in a milder version of what you saw before. And again, he's portraying strength, the strength of the ISIS fighters. This is the next expression we're going to look at. I call this a sneer. It looks like a sneer to me, where the left-hand side of his lip has risen, showing his teeth a little bit, and there's a little bit of an expression of disgust, perhaps, over here, and his eyes are narrowing a bit. I think overall in this video there are three kinds of ways or reasons why he uses this expression. First of all, out of a negative emotion, perhaps disgust, we can't be sure, towards the people that he believes are sitting in comfort in the UK and not doing what he sees as their duty. The second reason is usually when he talks about either negative or violent imagery, and the third reason is he usually uses this expression when he's talking about people or situations that to him symbolize strength or dignity and sacrifice. So I have some examples here. One second, we put it to this one. Alright.
While you sit in comfort and ask yourself, is this how you want to die? Know that you will be resurrected in Yawm al-Qiyamah the way you lived.
So when he said, when you sit in comfort, there was the sneer there. I shall do it in this one.
While you're sitting in comfort, while you're sleeping, while you're going shopping, they're giving their blood.
So while you're sitting in comfort, again, there was that expression. And when he said they're giving their blood, there was another sneer, kind of the sacrifice that they're making for you while you sit at home.
These golden times, you can be here in these golden times fighting fi sabilillah, or you can be on the sidelines commentating in Bilad al-Kufr.
So when he said the word sidelines, he did the sneer again. So he said you can either be here in these golden times, or you can be sitting on the sidelines. And then he pulled his lip up to that kind of sneer. I mean, sneers aren't bad. We all do it. It's not exclusive to any person or anything like that. It's just an expression of emotion. Here's another example.
When Malak al-Maut reaches you, when death reaches you and it's a certainty.
So if you notice, when he said the word death, you got the lip rising on the left again. He says the word death and uses this expression a few times in this video.
The Prophet ﷺ died, some of his last words were, verily in death there is agony.
So when he said in death there is agony, again there was a sneer.
Subhanallah. Look around you as you're watching this video and ask yourself, is this what I've selected and what I've chosen instead of Jannah? While you know your brothers are on there on the front lines, facing the bullets, the bombs, and everything the enemy of Allah has, while you're sitting in comfort,
So there was a lot of lip praising over there on the left-hand side. First of all, about people sitting in comfort in the UK, and also on the theme of sacrifice and strength when he talked about people where he is, taking bullets and bombs from the opposition. So again, he kind of sometimes associates that expression with strength and dignity and sacrifice.
know that if you fear death and that's what prevents you, death will reach you anyway. But it will be more painful for you than those who get shahada. Because the shahada, they don't feel death except like a sting of like an insect.
So he's saying that the shahada are, again, strong and have dignity, and so they won't feel death. And we get the raising of the lip there again with this when he's talking about strength.
Ask yourself your job, your degree. Wallahi, remember the Sahaba who had dates in his hand, and he said just to live and eat these dates was too much of a delay for him to meet Allah Azza wa Jal.
So when he said the word delay, you got a little more lip praising again. So this is an anecdote about somebody who was eating dates, and they believed that was too long to wait to see Allah, and for him that also symbolizes strength and sacrifice. And so when he says that was too much of a delay, then you get another sneer. This is another expression that he uses that's interesting to look at, and it's the raised eyebrows. He raises two at the same time in this video. Some individuals raise one, but in this video, when he raises his eyebrows, it seems like he's trying to. It's in instances where he's trying to really emphasize his point, and it's usually very emotionally charged or has very emotionally charged imagery. Now, you could argue that this whole recruitment video is very emotionally charged because you're trying to appeal to people's emotions, but these specific instances where he does raise his eyebrows, they are particularly powerful. They stick in your mind a lot more. Here are some examples.
Allah is going to show you the sister that got violated by the Shabiha, the child that got beheaded for being.
So when he said the child that got beheaded, can you see his eyebrows are raised now? So that's a particularly powerful, you could argue disturbing image as well, of a child being beheaded. So he's appealing to your emotions and saying, think about that, you're going to see that, and it's a very powerful image. I'm just going to turn up the volume.
Look around you while you sit in comfort and ask yourself, is this how you want to die?
So this is another powerful sentence for me because it does, he's raising his eyebrows here again. He says, is this how you want to die? So he's asking people to reevaluate their value system, their morals. Is this the way you want to die? Because you have to reevaluate your setup, where you're based, what you're doing and things like that. So this is particularly powerful question.
Know that Jannah isn't something small, and you want to show Allah Azza wa Jalla what you sacrifice for this deen.
Here we go again, the raised eyebrows. You want to show Allah what you sacrificed. So this is another powerful speech, first of all, because he says, you want to show Allah how much you sacrifice. He doesn't suggest it. He doesn't say you should or maybe you should. He says you should. So it's first of all very assertive. And of course, every religion, you want to show how much, some people want to show how much you sacrifice and how much you're devoted to that cause. Sometimes it's political, sometimes it's religious. So in this case, he's appealing to something that's universal to political causes, religious causes. You want to show how much how much you're devoted and sacrifice. So it's another very powerful narrative that's complemented by the eyebrow raising.